I've just been out for a run to get that oil temperature up. So it's sitting around 90. So we have our Land Rover Discovery 4 and we want to put a oil pressure sensor on here. So this is the stock sensor. And you can see there's a tube that goes down to the actual engine block. And I've marked up where exactly I want that new one to go. And we'll weld that on there. So I get a 20mm socket. And we'll take this out. Looks something like this. So we've got our sensor ready to weld up. So you want to make sure you've got all the swarf out of here before you weld it. So any of that goes back into the engine and gets into your sensors, they're not going to work too well. So clean this up nicely so there's no swarf or sharp edges. And I'm going to put a nice wet rag around these so the sensors don't get too hot. That was a 14mm drill bit that we used there. So we have this now, it's all welded together. I've cleaned it out nicely so there's nothing left inside it. You can unscrew this sensor so we can actually screw this down in. Now, depending on the size of your sensor and your spanner, you may have to take this pipe off here just a bit to pull it out of the way, so you can move your spanner a bit more. So we're under here under the Land Rover. I'm thinking that we put the oil temperature sensor in the sump plug. Because this has a bash plate under it, and we're not really going to use that if we're using this to siphon the oil off. And we can still use this if we need to. Genius. So we've drilled out the sump plug, put a thread in there for our temperature sensor, cut it a bit shorter, made sure we didn't damage any of the threads in the process. Put some Loctite on this so it doesn't come out or leak, and we'll put it in there and see how it goes. So I've got our new oil temperature sensor in, just putting some nice oil in there. Notice off the oil pressure sensor that's currently running that the oil pressure is a bit low, around 10 psi. Our factory does recommend anything above 7.5, but that's bare minimum, so you want it a bit higher than that. So we're changing from 5W30 to 10W40 and see how that performs. So I've just installed this oil temperature sensor there. Both go back to a nice Deutsch connector, just in this box here. Still got one more sensor to put in for the coolant, I'll do that later. idle. So we can adjust this using the dimmer down here. And this has got alarms programmed into it. So if it goes below, say 10 psi, then the alarm goes off. Or if the temperature goes above, say 130. But this is all programmable.